Hey, welcome to Table Talk, Winepress's bite-sized Bible chats for our community groups. I'm Caleb.
And I'm Kyra, and each episode we're going to set the table for great conversation so you can unpack the gold together around the table.
That's exactly right. So make sure you grab this week's study guide. It has discussion questions you can chat about with your group and your family. It has some prayer and worship prompts, and also extra Bible study tools so you can dive a bit deeper.
Let's jump in. Good morning, Caleb.
Hey, Kyra. Welcome to Table Talk.
It's good to be here.
It is. It's always good to be table talking. And today in Table Talks, we are starting a new series,
Yes.
new little mini series we're doing. It's going to go for 3 Table Talks, so that's 6 weeks worth of stuff for us to discuss in our community groups.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to be talking about community life. So taking a minute to pause, or a minute, 6 weeks to pause.
It's a long minute.
And we're going to just focus and unpack a bit of what the word says about the way to live kingdom life in community. I think it's a really healthy thing for us to do, especially in community groups every little while. Just it's almost like it stops and recenters us because this is the stuff we're talking about is the reason why we do community groups at Winepress. It's a big part of the reason. And so that sort of keeps us aligned, keeps us like sort of coming back to why we do this and what the purpose is. And Pastor Arthur's going to be preaching to this as well. So it's something that's on his heart. So we felt like this is a really good opportunity for us to do that and sort of lock that in. And then it's going to be good.
It's going to be great.
So community life, we're going to build this 3-part series around particularly one significant passage of scripture, which I feel like is the classic when you're talking about New Testament community life. And that is in Acts 2, 42 to 47. So why don't we read that to begin? And then we're going to dive into exploring this.
It's good. It's one of our favourites, this verse.
I love it.
Okay, so starting at verse 42, Acts 2. And they devoted themselves to the apostles' teaching and the fellowship, to the breaking of bread and the prayers. And awe came upon every soul, and many wonders and signs were being done through the apostles. And all who believed were together and had all things in common. And they were selling their possessions and belongings and distributing the proceeds to all as any had need. And day by day, attending the temple together and breaking bread in their homes, they received their food with glad and generous hearts, praising God and having favour with all the people. And the Lord added to their number day by day those who were being saved.
What a cool picture of
community life,
kingdom community. It's like, I just read that, I'm like, I want that to describe our life.
Yes,
I want that to be how people talk about us. That's so cool. So each of these weeks, we're going to look at like one particular element of that community. And today we want to start by, I think, a lot of the heartbeat of it, which is the sense that what we read there is not a community where it was like, come to a weekly event.
Yeah.
It was a day by day growing and following Jesus together.
Yeah.
You know, what we see there is that community life was not attending a weekly event or attending a couple of weekly events. It was actually a daily rhythm of following Jesus in community. I think the key verse for that is in verse 46. Actually, do you want to read that in the NET if you pull that up on your phone there? Because I think that puts it really nicely. Acts 2:46.
Here it is. Every day they continued to gather together by common consent in the temple courts, breaking bread from house to house, sharing their food with glad and humble hearts.
So good. So every day they continued to gather together. And it talks about 2 specific places they would gather. They'd gather in the temple courts and in
house to house.
In their homes, yes. And this is all in the context that each week on the Sabbath, all the community of Jesus followers would gather as well. So it's sort of like, it's this picture of like the big church and little church. I feel like is how you often talk about it. It's like you have the weekly gathering where all the believers all gather together. That's like our Sunday morning. And there's real value in that. Like there is stuff that is unique that we can do, that we can achieve, that we can bring, encourage, receive uniquely in that environment, in that context. So we're not going to talk to that too much in this, but that has so much value. So there's like the big church gathering, but then there's this picture of like the little church, the day by day gathering in the temple courts, praying together, sharing meals, going house to house, living life. It talks about how they were sharing resources. So it's this like big church and little church. It's like the big weekly event and then the day by day gathering together. And I think that's just a picture of how we're designed to live and to do kingdom community.
Yeah.
To live out the kingdom is not a once a week event.
Yeah.
To live out the kingdom is a day by day thing that we're actually designed intrinsically to do in community.
Yeah, with others.
Exactly. And that's why at Winepress we have community groups because they are literally designed, their purpose is to bridge that gap. So we're not just doing we have the big church, the Sunday, which has so much value. And then we have the community groups, which is our way of giving some structure and some a format that helps us all to live out that day by day, living out the kingdom sort of thing.
Yeah.
And I think one of the really cool things, particularly you wanted to read that in the NET, because it translates it really well. It says how every day they continued to gather together by common consent.
Yeah.
Where it says common consent, different translations say different things. The classic King James says with one accord.
Yeah.
Which
with
is
one mind, yeah.
Yeah. I feel like with one accord is one of those classic Christian phrases that
I feel like you hear that in old hymns.
Yes, exactly.
With one accord.
But it's like, what's the old joke? They'd all get in a Honda because they were in one accord.
Well done.
Mate, there's like generations of dad jokes before me. So but the NET says by common consent. It's the Greek word. I'll say it.
Yeah, you say it. I don't want to say it.
Homothumadon.
Yeah, that sounds good.
That was terrible. I apologize to anyone with any Greek blood in you because that would have been cringing. But literally just means homo meaning together, one, and thumos meaning mind, spirit, or passion. Yeah. So it's literally saying like with one mind, with one passion. The key here is this was not driven by the leaders saying you guys need to be at this event, you guys need to be at the temple every day, or
a legalistic like you have to do this, you have to do that,
or even like a pleading like please gather, please come to the temple, please come to our prayer meeting, please. But it was a picture of people whose lives were intertwined and they just were of one passion. I love that translation of it, one passion. Where it's like we're loving doing life together, and it's our passion to follow Jesus together. So I'm not going to gather with you or intertwine my life with you tomorrow because I'm supposed to.
No.
Because the apostle told me I should. You know, because the pastor said I'm supposed to live in authentic community and that's one of our values. So I should send my obligatory text each day and say, how are you doing? Praying for you. It's like, I love doing life together with you. I'm loving following Jesus with you and living abundant life with you and building the kingdom together. So I want to
be with you on the journey. Yeah.
Exactly. And intertwine my life with you because there's joy.
Yeah. And that's, it says at the end of verse 46, they received their food and, everything they're doing. They're going to the temple, breaking bread with glad and generous hearts, praising God and having favor with all people. Like there's this sense of joy that comes with doing life in that manner.
That's
like
right.
Doing community life that way.
Exactly. And, it's interesting. Our core value at Winepress is that we live in authentic community, which says there is great joy in living unmasked and fully known with those we love.
Yep.
And I love those elements it actually puts in there. It's about living unmasked, so being ourselves fully known with those we love.
Yeah.
A phrase I often love to use in this talking about authentic communities being deeply known and fiercely loved.
Yeah.
That's the phrase we often use for like how we want our community to feel.
Yeah.
That we know you deeply. We actually really know you. We don't just know the surface stuff, and we love you fiercely.
Yeah.
We're not just ticking our box to hang out with you, but it's like it's a joy to live this way.
Yeah.
And I think that is a real key in this, that it's not a religious obligation.
No.
This is not pointing the finger saying you should do this, because if you start from that point, it's already broken. That is just not what it's describing. This is a bunch of people who are passionately following Jesus.
Yeah.
The kingdom is growing in them and through them and around them.
Yeah.
And the overflow of that is, I just love following Jesus with you. Could we pray together tomorrow?
Yeah.
Could we hang out tomorrow? Could we share a meal tomorrow? Hey, come around to our place and let's have dinner, and then we'll come to your place for dinner tomorrow. And it talks earlier about we're sharing resources. Do you need this? I've got this. Awesome. That's yours. It's just shared life because it's built on love.
Yeah.
And there's a great joy that flows out of that. Hey?
Yeah. It's so good.
Yeah. Yeah. I think one of the things, as we sort of wrap this up, talking about this daily rhythm, that I don't want to just talk about this and, everyone be like, oh, that's awesome. That sounds nice, but it's not realistic.
Yeah.
Because there is a truth that the culture that this was occurring in, it was a very different looking culture.
Very different
to
landscape.
ours today.
Yeah.
They would probably live in much more proximity
to each other,
to what we do today. Our culture today, where we live in this sort of cultural moment, is the most
individualistic.
Yeah, I was going to say hyper individualistic.
Yeah.
Culture that has ever been on the planet.
Yeah.
Like literally, if you look any other point in history, even any other parts on the globe, it is not how people have ever lived. So we have extra barriers and challenges to do this. So it might look different. There are challenges. Life is busy. It's hyper individualistic. People feel tired. People feel stretched. So there are real challenges and barriers. I don't want to just present this and be like, this is the way it is. We should do it.
Yeah.
There are real challenges and things to go through. But I don't think that changes the point that it's like we were actually made for this.
Yeah.
Like it's actually the way our culture lives today, it goes against the grain of how we're created and how we're wired, because we're wired to do this thing together and in community. Do you have any thoughts on that, on how we combat that, or what it looks like to live that out today?
That's a big question. I think, we're blessed with tools now that help that. We can be in close connection via, our phones and, being able to chat. Like I know that, in our community group, that's how we communicate during the week, day by day. We're not actually going to each other's houses every day and saying,
not every
hey,
day.
I'm here. But actually, we're still connected. Like it would be rare for there to go a day where our community group hasn't chatted to each other via phones and
not just as a whole group, but individual relationships.
Individual relationships in that too. Yeah,
which is really healthy.
So that's really healthy. I think there are obvious challenges. Yeah,
but it's just naming them. It doesn't mean it's going to be easy, but it doesn't just because it's not easy doesn't mean that we don't go for it. Like it's
absolutely.
There's I think my heart is just like, it might look like being countercultural. In kingdom families, we're talking a lot at the moment about to be a kingdom person means you're swimming upstream.
Yeah.
You've got to swim against the flow of culture. And in this, there are decisions that we might have to make. The decisions we'll make for how we choose to live our life in genuine, deep community with others that are countercultural and mean there are things that we change. And sometimes it's really inconvenient or sometimes we are tired.
Yeah.
Like, you know what? We're really tired, but come on round for dinner, because there's something valuable about actually connecting and doing the journey and building each other up and encouraging.
Yeah.
Sometimes there are things that we'll choose not to do. I'm not saying we've got this all together, because far from it. But
we're not perfect.
Well,
I'm
not. At least I'm not perfect. I'll let Kyra speak for herself. But sometimes it's like, I'm going to say no to these things because they might be good things. Maybe they'll be things that society would do. They might even make us more money, but they'll take our time, our energy, our resource. I'm like, you know what? We actually want to live in that connection and community. So it's it can be countercultural.
And I think, we'll talk to this in later weeks, because this is an important part of what we're talking about. But, we're not saying like do everything in this bubble of Christianity and
Absolutely
with the
not.
church, because, what we're seeing here is, in shared life, there is joy and there's stuff. And, it actually says like people were seeing signs and wonders being done by this coming together. And so we will talk to this in later weeks, but we're not saying confine your life to Christians, but we're
saying close in on your little group. And
this is not the point of community life, but it's doing life day by day with others. We're designed to be in community, and then as a community, we are witnessing and being.
We're extending the kingdom.
We're extending the kingdom.
It's kingdom life. Yeah, it's kingdom life, and if it's healthy kingdom life, it's always growing and outward.
Yes.
And in week 3 we will speak specifically to this, but that's a really good point. It's worth naming that this is kingdom life, and kingdom life is always growing and always outward and always expanding.
It's not closed.
That's right.
Yeah.
Exactly. So that's a really important point. But there's a point of saying, I'm going to prioritize. And not just well, you will prioritize, but it's a joy to prioritize doing life in community. Because it awakens something to how we're created. And I want to say that to close too, I don't want this to be pressed like day by day. It's like, we have to have a community group meeting every day.
No,
like
not what we're saying.
No, absolutely not. What I always encourage people in, if they're struggling in this space, is I say, just start as a starting point, make your like baseline. Say every week I'm going to have a weekly gathering and share a meal. Make those like non-negotiable. Now, in this context, we're speaking to people in community groups. So probably most of us do that anyway. What I have found really effective is not saying to people as a starting point, start a Bible study or start this, because we're not starting events. You're building into a rhythm of actually learning how to open your life to others and connect with them and do day by day kingdom community together. So say every week, commit to gathering, sharing a meal, but then we're going to speak more in the next episode. It's not just about that. It's about actually growing in the word, becoming more like Jesus, that sort of thing. But even as a starting point to say, I'm going to commit with my community group every week. We're going to gather. We're going to be there and actually open our lives and get to know each other.
That's it.
And then let that healthy kingdom life start to grow and build out of that. We would often say like a really good health marker that we use for community groups, small groups of any sort, is if the initial weekly gathering just organically opens up day by day connection and gathering and that sort of thing. That's a really good indicator. Hey, this group is healthy and growing and there's kingdom life happening. If it's just staying as a weekly meeting, that's often like, okay, we're not quite doing this day by day community life together. We're just attending a meeting. Maybe attending a Bible study or attending this. But what we're looking to do is actually open up kingdom life, encouraging, building, doing all the stuff and the great joy that comes with that.
That's good.
All right.
Well, we'll look forward to unpacking more in weeks.
We will be unpacking lots. Bless you guys.